is Sputnik 1. First launched by the Soviet Union, this marked the beginning of the American and Soviet Union space race. But, according to NASA, this also marks the beginning of all space research. Now, it was a common childhood dream to be an astronaut. It was cool to imagine what life would be like beyond Earth, and it was fun to imagine what it would be like working on a spaceship walking along those stars. When you leave here today, you'll know a little bit more about that old dream. I've always found space fascinating. I've done several presentations on it since my 8th grade. It's something that as we put out more information based off of what we learn from space, we continue to learn more about ourselves here on Earth. Now, space research has allowed for some incredible scientific breakthroughs. Today, we are going to cover how stars affect science, how space affects the natural life here on Earth, and what space research is currently being done for our future. To start, we're going to cover how stars affect science. This is the artificial star located in Hefei, China. It was an experiment conducted by the Chinese Academy of Sciences. It was able to run for 1,022 seconds, but it was also able to put out 2 million times the solar power of our own sun in those seconds it was alive. This is nuclear fusion on a large scale. If and as they continue to do more research on this experiment, if they're able to shrink it down, if they're able to make it minuscule, something that could fuel a car, fuel a phone, fuel all of our technology, it would be an incredible different option for our own clean energy. It would also be an incredible option for solar power. If they are able to make this smaller, if they are able to prolong the life of it too, this would be an incredible option, stronger than solar power, stronger than hydropower, wind power, and many more types of clean energy. Next, we're going to cover how space has been affecting our natural life. This is the 5th state of matter NASA found a few years ago. NASA named it the Bose-Einstein condensate. That spike is where atoms and molecules slow down due to how cold the temperature is and basically freeze in place. This has allowed for us to change how fast things grow. This has been able to affect our medical research here on Earth too. We are able to speed up the growth of healthy cells. That way we are able to conduct experiments. We're able to slow down the growth of diseased cells in order for us to conduct similar experiments too. But as they do these experiments, that 5th state of matter allows for them to change the experiments as they're happening, for us to see what we can change and what we can do to help stop and slow the disease such as cancer, tuberculosis, and many more as they try to spread. But they also conduct different types of growth out there. They conduct food growth. Out in space, it's an incredibly strict thing out there. In the space station, they have strict soils, strict hydration, strict solar energy, and many more. They use this to conduct food growth experiments to see what is best for the food that we find here on Earth. They can water things more, they can water them less. They can give them different types of soil, more sun, less sun. Everything is so strictly changed to see what is best for the food that we find here on Earth. Lastly, we are going to cover what scientific research is being done for our future now. This is the James Webb Telescope. I like to think of it as the older brother to the Hubble telescope NASA put out several years ago. NASA put out the James Webb Telescope only a few years ago, but it's continued to put out more detailed and incredible photos of our space and what different things have looked like. Comparing the photos between Hubble Telescope and James Webb Telescope, we are able to see the trajectory of things, such as asteroids, meteors. We are even able to tell where the energy from exploding stars has been able to go. And they continue to put out more and more fascinating photos as they go. But James Webb isn't the only thing that's been sent out recently. The Nevada Dream Chaser has been something that they've been using to transport supplies up to the space station from places here on Earth. It's been a quicker alternative from having the people go up there and come back down to get more supplies. It's been a faster and easier way for them to continue their research with fewer breaks and able to learn more and more about what we need to do. But this also opens up the opportunity that instead of transporting supplies and goods through, let's say, boats, trains, airplanes, cars, this opens up the possibility for a safer way to transport supply and stuff across oceans and across continents. It's an incredibly huge thing. Next, as we continue to have more and more advanced technologies, we have put out more and more advanced satellites as well. These satellites are what transfer our data. They're what allows us to send messages to people across the Earth, even in the next room to us. These satellites are constantly moving data around, quicker and quicker as we advance more and more technology. But they also allow for safer data transfer as we continue to advance them. It's something that's an incredibly important part of today's technology-based world. We're going to do a quick recap on what you've learned today. Space research has allowed for some incredible scientific breakthroughs. This includes how stars affect research and science, how space research affects our natural life, and what research is currently being done for our future. Now, life is not just bound to Earth, and we continue to push those limits every day. And space research has allowed for us to learn more and more about our daily lives than anything else.